Hello friends, today I am not able to find my birth certificate. Seems I lost it and now I need to give some extra effort, time and money to get a duplicate copy of my birth certificate. But I was thinking how I am not able to secure my birth certificate, which was an important document for me. Or I can say it is a very important asset for me. And then I pinpointed to this reason. I'm not categorizing and classifying my assets in a proper way, and because of the same, I'm not able to provide necessary security to them. And then I remember about this domain 2 of CISSP, which talks about asset security. And now I understand in a better way why this domain talks about asset categorization and classification. So we can say to secure any environment, first we need to understand what we need to secure, and a proper asset inventory helps in the same. Now you need to understand the word asset. Asset is anything which have or provide some value to us. And in IT environment, all the computing resources like the IT systems, the software, the virtual computing platform, and any related hardware are all assets. We must also understand that data is also an asset, as it also have some value associated to it, sometimes directly and sometimes indirectly. Also, we must understand the assets can be tangible and intangible. Tangible means a thing that can be touched or which is having a physical presence, and intangible means a thing that cannot be touched, means it is not having any physical presence, it is a logical unit. Like information inside a system is intangible asset, but the system storing that particular information is a tangible asset. So I can say we must identify, categorize, secure and monitor the assets to provide necessary level of security to them. This is not applicable only in organizational environment. It is applicable in our day-to-day life also. If I had properly categorized my document and secure my birth certificate in a properly marked folder inside a locker, then I might not need to give this extra effort today to get a duplicate copy. So let's understand the asset security concept, which will help you to secure the assets in a better and effective way. And as the most important asset these days is data, so we must know how to provide proper security to data. And to secure data in any environment, you must have a proper data policy, a data governance structure. Also, you must take care of the data quality and must do proper data documentation and data organization. Now let's understand all of these one by one. First one is the data policy. So we can say data policy is a set of principles and procedure for data management in any organization. So our data policy guide us to collect only the required information, keep it safe and securely, destroy that particular information once the asset is no longer needed. So data policy must be flexible enough to adjust any new requirement as per the dynamic nature of the IT threat landscape. Also, the data policy must be aligned with the law and regulatory requirements of that particular business. So we can say a well-defined data policy provides direction to the management to set practices and standards related to quality, format, access and retention of data. And then comes the data governance. With the data policy in hand, we need to set the roles and responsibility for everyone who is going to handle that particular data. So we can say data governance is to establish authority, management and decision making related to the creation, transformation and usage of data for that particular organization. Some guiding principle for data governance are: we need to establish proper responsibility, we need to plan for the best support for the organization, we also need to check for the acquired validity of the data, we need to ensure performance when required from that particular data, we also need to ensure conformance with the rules and regulations, we also need to ensure the respect for human factors in the whole data management. To do all this, a formal authority is required in any organization. So we can form a data governance committee, which is needed to oversee the development of common data definition, standards, requirements, and processes. This committee will enforce policy and procedure. Also, this governing body manage implementation and integration of data governance principles into business processes. So we can say that data governance in any organization has the goal of stopping data related problems before they begin, as the policy and procedure given by the data governance body or committee will reduce the ambiguity. It also establishes clear accountabilities and disseminate data related information to all stakeholders. Now comes the data quality. If the quality of the data is not good, then the value of the data is also not much. So to maintain the value of the data, we need to take care of the data quality, which covers the integrity and reliability of the data. To maintain data quality, we must verify and validate data throughout its useful life. So we can say the quality of the data is related to the fitness for use or potential use of the information. To measure the data quality, we must measure the accuracy, currency, and relevance of the data. Two important terms we must understand for data quality. One is quality assurance and the other one is the quality control. Quality assurance is to use of prescribed standard to assess and to discover inconsistencies and other anomalies in the data and apply data cleansing to deliver a final data with assurance. So we can say quality assurance give us the answer to the question, is the data fit for use? And the next term is quality control, QC. So quality control is an assessment of data quality based on internal standard, processes and procedures to control and monitor quality as informed by the quality assurance. So we can say if we want to check is the data is fit for use, then the quality control can give us the answer for this particular question. The purpose of performing quality assurance and quality control in data quality procedure is to reduce error in the dataset to acceptable level, and good data quality practices aim to reduce general types of the error. These error can be error of omissions and error of commissions. So the error of commissions means any data entry mistakes or inaccurate data transcriptions that should be reduced by having a sufficient quality assurance process in data acquisition itself. And the data of omission, which is very hard to detect, means there are some missing data that can lead to inaccurate values or interpretation of the data sets or calculation made on that particular data set. Now, with this accurate data in hand, we must do proper data documentation and organization, which help us to manage the large set of the data critical to business processes. Proper data documentation help us to ensure that the longevity and the reuse of the data. Data users should understand the content, context and limit of the data. Also, it helps us to make easier discovery of the data within the organization. And finally, it helps us in the exchange of the data within different systems. So to do proper data documentation, we can use the metadata, we can use the README file, or we can use the file naming conventions. Metadata means descriptive information about the dataset. We also call it data about data. So it is a data describing the context, content and structure of the records and their management throughout time. Metadata can have the name, title, subject, keyword, description, date of creation, geolocation and any other relevant information the organization may desire to put in their metadata. README file helps us in data documentation and it is majorly used in application and programming files. So it can be in the .txt or .pdf format and it helps us to get more information about that particular application or programming, like how to use it, how to install it. All this information will be there in the README file. Next is the file names. File names should be unique. They should be consistent, they should be informative and they should be easily sortable. So we can use a proper nomenclature for the file names. Now comes data organization. Data organization is the process to arrange and control data. Data organization covers data classification, data categorization, structure and schema. So data organization makes data more useful for us. Data organization applies to both structured and unstructured data. Let's understand what exactly data classification means. Classification of any asset helps us to determine the importance of that particular asset for us, and accordingly we will provide security to it. So data classification also helps us to know what necessary security control to be used to manage and safeguard the data against any unauthorized access, improper retention and unsafe destruction. So the data collected, stored and used in any organization need to be classified into tiers or classes based on the level of sensitivity the data have for that particular organization. Next is data categorization. Categorization means to assign the value to the asset or information and also attaching the risk tolerance related to that particular asset as set by the management. We also call these as two principles of categorization. You must remember the difference between the classification and categorization. Classification tells us the process of how to handle assets to assure confidentiality, integrity and availability. But categorization tells us about the impact of any negative event on the information confidentiality, integrity and availability on that particular organization. So we can say over securing data is waste of resources, while under securing data presents risk that may be unacceptable. So we need to have a balance in between these two. So with all these base concepts related to asset security, we are ready to secure the assets. So keeps on learning more about asset security in other topic videos of domain 2 of CISSP. With this, thank you friends.